you so much for joining us.
You're most welcome.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Was it an easy win?
No, it wasn't. It was a very contested campaign between myself and the two others, gentlemen who are my colleagues in the profession.
Right.
I'm pleased that the campaign enabled issues that concern the society to be addressed through a debate in the process of the campaign.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the immediate issues that you want to address.
Well, I think the priority certainly for the incoming council will be housekeeping issues. There's a need to have the provisions of the LSK Act operationalized so that the LSK Act is fully functioning for the benefit of the members. I'll give you an example. The elections have seen for the first time an election into office of a Nairobi council, but there's nothing in the Act that makes provision for how long the council will serve for. So regulations put in place will make clear to the members what the election cycle is for the branches, how the branches will operate, and will also make sure that the governance structure that is intended to exist at the branches is existing in a way that is clear and entrenched in the law.
All right. One of the things that was highlighted in your manifesto was the arbitration center.
Yes.
Is that for you a priority, and moving forward, because the issues was most of the issues were financial based. Moving forward, what is the situation going to be with that?
Well, it was made clear in the manifesto, and it is a matter that I consider myself bound to, that the members, having resolved at the general meeting on the 21st of March 2015 to abandon the project as conceived by the current leadership, I must ensure that the resolutions that are passed by the members are implemented, and that is what is going to happen.
Right.
In addition to which, part of our campaign promise was that all monies that were received paid by members who were compelled to do so under the circumstances that were unclear, is that these monies will be held on trust for those who made payment, and we shall consider ourselves liable to refund the money or to deal with the money in any other means or ways that those to whom refunds are entitled to will instruct us to do.
Right. And the other issue is internal wrangles that have for the last couple of months come out so clear with the Okero LSK. How are you going to deal with that so that the society is in sync?
I think in many ways the election process was cathartic. It enabled a lot of these issues to come up and to be debated. The consensus then must be that those who have been elected into office and those who are unsuccessful will abide by the wishes of the electing members. So now is the time for us to begin to heal the society. Remember that we are brothers and sisters in one professional body, and that this camaraderie of council is essential to our existence and to our thriving.
All right.
And I don't see that there will be any difficulty in us achieving that. Already I've spoken to the two contestants I was up against. I've known them for many years. I've practiced with them. I consider them my brothers. So I don't see that there'll be any difficulty there.
Having, been a lawyer for some time now, and of course being in the know with the issues that are taking place in the LSK, what do you think will be your biggest challenge in your period, in your term?
I think considering that the term of office is fixed by the Act to 2 years, the challenge will be being able to ensure that the provisions of the Act that require to be operationalized are done within the time period that we fixed ourselves to do it. And I had indicated that we want to do this within 6 months. It will require a lot of dedicated work. We have the reserves of talent within the organization, but once that is done, then making sure that the system that we have set up works and enables members then to be involved in the governance of the society, I think will be the biggest challenge, but I'm quite certain that we'll be able to meet it.
Now, one of the things that came out so clear, and especially from people who are keenly watching the LSK elections, was that in the past, the LSK was known to be a vivacious, so to speak, kind of society. The times for Paul Muite, James Orengo, it used to be sort of like the opposition. Are we going to be seeing that kind of of LSK coming back? The one that would not be bullied, the one that would say and give legal advice at a time when right now we're having issues with the Supreme Court, with the retirement age. Are we going to see that LSK coming back?
I think that there needs to be a distinction made between the role of the society in which we are required to give legal advice and assistance to the government and to all institutions and to the profession in all matters concerning the law, and we are also bound to our oath to protect the rule of law and the administration of justice, and the role that the society has seen, we have seen the society play during the time that there was a very much restricted political space. As Kenya has evolved, the society must also evolve, but we shall remain, as members of the profession and as members of the society, we shall always remain true to our oath to protect the rule of law and the administration of justice without fear or favor.
But at the same time, as much as Kenya has evolved and the judicial service has also, the system has also evolved, we've also seen so many issues coming up with, the executive disregarding court orders. So those are still issues that are affecting our judicial system. For you, what is it going to be, as a way forward? Is there anything that you're going to be doing as LSK to make sure that things like that don't happen?
Well, I can assure you that the Law Society of Kenya and all its members will remain true to our mission to uphold the rule of law, to advance, to protect the Constitution and to uphold the rule of law. And we have always been able to discharge this duty without fear or favor, and I don't see that there will be any change in that respect.
You were very popular with young lawyers. How are you going to make sure that the older, the seniors, are in sync and actually believe in the things that you envisioned for the LSK?
Well, first of all, having served in the society as a member for over 26 years, I think I fall within the description of a senior. So these are people whom I relate with, and amongst them are my classmates and my friends. The perception of a division between the young and the old, although gained some prominence during the time of this election process, I think in many respects is artificial. And it is important that both the junior and senior lawyers are able to relate closely together, because part of the tradition of our profession is this mentoring that enables traditions to be passed on from the old to the young. And when you consider what these traditions are, the tradition of deference and fidelity to the law, there isn't that much of a difference between the old and the young.
All right.
As I said before, it was often the case that these divisions would be created and exploited during times of elections. But I think certainly the result of the election has demonstrated that the membership at large are keen not to continue to have a continuation of these differences exploited by people for political ends.
All right. So finally, let's talk about the AGM that is coming up.
Yes.
What exactly is it going to be about this time round?
Well, the annual general meeting coming up is a general meeting that happens once a year. That is a statutory requirement, at which accounts are to be presented, an auditor is confirmed, and other regular business that happens at that time. The notice that has been issued by the current council is for an annual general meeting that will occur on the 24th of March, which is a Thursday. And I'm already hearing concerns from members, because the tradition is that the annual general meeting falls on a Saturday, which is convenient for members to be able to attend. So the fact that it happens, it is intended to occur on a Thursday is causing some concern amongst the members, and I certainly wish to speak with the current chairman and the members of the council to find out, CEO to find out if there's any way that this can be changed, because a general meeting on a weekday is going to be particularly inconvenient, especially considering that members want to come in from all over the country to attend it. And if we have it on a weekday when advocates have got scheduled meetings, their diaries place them in courts, both in the towns in which they practice and beyond, then traveling for this meeting will be somewhat inconvenient.
All right. Before I let you go, let me get your insight now as a lawyer on some issues that have been, affecting us as a country. Talking about the constitutional amendments that, various groups are trying to have with the Okoa Kenya. Is there any other way to go about these issues that are cropping up about the Constitution?
I think that there can be a conversation in which examination can be undertaken as to which is the most cost-effective way, because the whole constitutional amendments is a very costly exercise, and to encourage them to happen with such regularity places great pressure on the national purse. So there's got to be a way that this can be done in which the ends that various political interests want to achieve can be done in the public interest, but without making it too expensive. Right.
The other issue is, of course, Justice Philip Tunoi with the Supreme Court bench. How does it work now? Is it still functional with one judge out?
Well, the Supreme Court has a set number of judges who must sit to create a quorum. And as I recall, that had been the concern even at the time when the question as to whether age limits applied under this constitution or the previous one came up. That they affected the quorum was immediately a concern. But now that, of course, the matter of the suitability or otherwise of the judges is subject to the findings of this tribunal that has been set up, we must just wait to allow it to run its course and see how it goes.
But we've also had issues in the past where tribunals have been disrespected, the recommendations not really being taken into account. So that is also maybe a point of concern, is it?
Certainly, and I'm sure that the current council and certainly the incoming council will be watching very carefully to ensure that the process that is undertaken in accordance with the law, and that certainly also that the subject of the inquiry must be accorded due process.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Isaac Okero there,
Thank you.
the LSK president.